Hello guys, good to have you with us again today as we are in week 3 of this series entitled Habits. Want to encourage you to like this, share it with the people around, as this podcast is intended to be a resource to bless you and others as you navigate this relationship with Jesus. And so use it in your personal study, use it at home with your family, use it on your lunch break, as this will continue to be posted each Thursday at around 12 o'clock. p.m. So we are glad that you're back with us today. And as we're in this message series, we looked at this week this idea of downshifting. If any of you have ever driven a manual transmission vehicle before, you know that you many times have to downshift the car or the truck, whatever vehicle you're driving, to slow the engine down a little bit so that you're at the proper speed to take the left or right turn or assess what you need to do in the midst or the flow of traffic. And so when we talk about downshifting, we want to talk about not in just the idea of in your vehicle, but rather in your life and specifically in your walk with God, is because when we downshift, many times the intent of downshifting in your vehicle is not to stop, but rather just to slow down a little bit, but to keep moving. And I think sometimes when we walk in life, sometimes there's things that jump out at us and catch us off guard that we just kind of throw our hands up and we freeze. But rather, it seems as though in Scripture that God says He's with us even in those moments that are unexpected. And I think what we're called to do is slow down, downshift, if you will, and assess where God is at, where we're at, and what our next step is. Are we to slow down even more? Or are we to hit the accelerator and move ahead even faster? You see, when we talk about downshifting, I think we need to know that we need to be prepared to downshift because life is made up of many turns. If you've lived life more than 10 minutes, you know that there's going to be something unexpected that happens in life usually every single day. I mean, whether the meeting at work doesn't go the way you planned, whether you get home and your child's sick coming home from school, or the dinner gets burned and you have to order out, whatever it is, there's something that's unexpected. But sometimes those unexpected events are things that are even maybe a little deeper, something that leaves a little more of a mark of unexpected death, unexpected end of a relationship, an unexpected loss of a job, or maybe truly just unexpected feeling of, just depression. And so what do we do with that? Well, we see in Isaiah 42 is that the prophet Isaiah writes these words, God speaking to him. He says, I will lead the blind by ways they have not known. Along unfamiliar paths I will guide them. I will turn darkness into light before them and make rough places smooth. These are the things I will do. I will not forsake them. This is the promise that God gives for Isaiah to share with others. And I think we can take that today of going, man, if those unexpected turns are maybe blind spots or dark places in our life or quite frankly, rough patches, God is there with us in that and wants to help walk us through that. But we cannot take the rough patches in life at the same speed we're traveling when we reach those rough patches. I mean it this way, is that if you're traveling 85 miles an hour on a 4-lane interstate and all of a sudden they start putting in speed bumps there, you probably could take the speed bump at 20. But anything beyond that, there's going to be collateral damage to the vehicle and maybe even you, the driver, the passengers. So when we see this approaching, and we need to understand that these patches are going to happen, these unexpected turns are going to take place, but we got to lean closely to God, listen to the Father, so that to know that He's with us and what the next steps will be. Because the writer of Ecclesiastes tells us in chapter 3 that there's a time for everything, that there is seasons under the heavens, under the sky, that it's going to happen. And so in that, we don't want it to be that we just kind of throw our hands up in the air and go, well, I guess it's all just going to break loose someday. The reality of it is that sometimes I think when it does break loose, or seems like life is breaking loose, I should say, it might be because we didn't think it was going to happen to us. I remember talking to a young man just a few years ago who unexpectedly lost his father. His dad was in his late 50s, just had a heart attack, and quite frankly didn't see it coming. A healthy guy, did all the things right in life, but just had a massive heart attack and passed away. And I think that kind of blindsided him. It caught his family off guard. And not that they didn't think that death was going to happen for everyone at some point in life, but they didn't know if it was going to happen to them. They didn't think it was going to happen that early, specifically to his dad. And so I use that as an understanding and analogy as we see Ecclesiastes 3, is that life is going to happen. But when life happens, really, here's the question for the day. Which direction will we go? Will we lean into God and downshift and keep living life with Him? Or are we just going to smash on the brakes and jump out of the car? You see, because God's not looking for us to be perfect, but He is looking for us to make a promise to Him that we're going to be in the game with Him. Because He's made a promise to us in Isaiah 42 that He says, I will not forsake them. In other words, He's saying, I'm there with you. Lean into me, and I will show you what wisdom looks like, and I'll show you what's good on the other side. Because in Proverbs 3, it tells us that if we lean into God and not our own understanding, there is only good that will come from that. So today I challenge you with that. When life's curves come, and they will, when life's rough patches come, and they will, well, what will we do? Will we downshift, take a deep breath, lean into God, or we smash on the brakes and get out of the car? I want to encourage you to lean into God this week, as I don't know what's going on in your life when you watch this on Thursday. Maybe it's been a really great week, but Saturday's to come and we don't know what's going to be. Or maybe it's been a rough week and you need to know that God is with you. Just want to let you know we'd love to pray with you. We love to connect with you through this podcast. Please check out ccctopeka.com. You can submit prayer requests in that way and share this through this link, whether it's through Facebook or YouTube, as we would love to help others navigate what it looks like to downshift with God and travel through life with Him well. Hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.